Right. So today we are going to do past paper discussion on project management. Uh, First of all, so the examiner tried to give most of the question from your slides. That is a good news for you. But at the same time, the second paper sometimes easy question, sometimes just one area. If you haven't studied that area, you are in trouble. So therefore, we never know which area will be the 2025 paper. Okay, so therefore, don't take any risk, especially when it comes second paper. And unfortunately, some answers are pretty debatable, right? So that is especially MCQs. Some answers are pretty debatable. Answers are there. Okay, because I just went through some of the past papers. Uh, pretty debatable answers. Okay, so that anyway, I can't help for that. Okay. Right. Actually, the questions are too fussy in some cases. But right. Anyway, so anyway, it's not impossible to pass. Only thing is, don't take much of risk. Okay. Right. First, I will just take about half an hour to go through the slides very quickly because exam questions, especially MCQs, are straight from your slides. Right, straight from your slides. I will highlight few areas because I rushed through the three papers. Some areas the examiner is more interested, but it doesn't mean that next your paper examiner will be concentrating on that. Okay, right, especially for MCQs. Right, so we started with introduction to project management. So we discussed what is mean by project. So remember what are the features of a project. Temporary things, lot of uncertainty involves. There are sponsors and those things, and ethical aspects and so on. Right? Like I will just rush through. And also remember, IT project have terrible records due to certain issues. So project is temporary, unique. Okay, and also we have objectives. So these are examples of IT project. They have examiners even asked that kind of question. Right? Given set of things, which of these are IT projects? So IT projects are related to software development or hardware, anything related to IT. Okay. Uh, right. So I'm not going through this. So unique purpose, temporary, progressive elaboration. So examiner has tested this over and over. Project is developed using progressive elaboration. And project need resources. Project need a sponsor. Project involve uncertainty. Okay. And the difference between project and operations. Operations are ongoing things, routine things that keep happening. Project is temporary things, start, end. Okay. And also the triple constraints, scope, time, cost. And if you consider quadruple constraint, you can include quality as well. Otherwise, scope, time, cost. Okay. Right. So then what is project management is? Okay. So importance of stakeholders. So stakeholders are anyone who interested in project or involved in project. The main stakeholder is the project sponsor or the customer, then managers, even employees, even competitors are stakeholders. And entire team members involved in software in that IT project is also stakeholders like project manager, team members. So then it's very important to remember the nine knowledge areas, right? So the four core areas: scope, time, cost, quality. Supporting areas, HR, communication, risk, procurement, and the umbrella area, project integration management. And also the importance of stakeholders. And what is project portfolio management? Project portfolio management is managing project as a portfolio of business sense, revenue generation. Okay. So project portfolio management objective is enterprise success. And also you can't forget about tools and techniques we use in project management. And also what is project program management? That is set of related projects for a customer is managed as a whole. That is different from project portfolio management. This is more business oriented. This is related projects managed by the third parties because they are from same customer and so on. Okay. Right. Project success factors, very important, right? Executive support, project sponsor, not too broad, clear requirements. So all those contribute to success of a project, right? Right. Project portfolio management, managing the project as a portfolio for investment for the enterprise success. Those are straight away there in your paper. Okay. And the program management and project management. So program management means managing related projects together, because project managers are busy managing a single project. Then what is project management office? Uh, Unit for managing umbrella unit for project managers and projects. Right? The role of project manager, what are the project managers' job functions, what are the project managers' expected uh, competencies, skills, attitude. Okay. So we write hard skills, soft skills. uh, And project management profession, especially you must be aware of project management institute certification programs. Okay, PMI, PMP certification, project management professional certification. Okay, right? PMP, they have even asked about that in MCQs. PMP certification. So pretty much through targeting the slides, right? And also importance of ethics of a project manager. Project manager must balance out the team members. Project manager must not exploit team members, at the same time satisfy the customer, right? So that is ethical project management, right? So different type of tools, software, tools and techniques like project charter, WBS, Gantt chart, PERT charts, cost estimates, network diagrams. Okay, right. So that is topic one. Then topic two, the project management in IT context. So especially we discuss about the system thinking. We look at the project, we develop systems actually, right? If you are developing systems, actually we are developing systems, right? System approach, system philosophy. We do system analysis. We need to do system management. Okay. And the three sphere of management. This is super important. MCQs. Organizational aspect, technological aspect, business aspect. So your project must be successful in all three aspects. Technologically success, or system must be, we can look at it as technological aspect, business aspects, organizational aspects. Okay. And also who are the stakeholders, the importance of top management commitment to your project. Okay. Following organizational standards in your project management. What is project life cycle? Right? What are the phases? Early phase, middle phase, and final phase of a project. And also the context of IT. So what make IT projects unique, more challenging? Okay, right. So that is topic two. And topic three is super simple topic, the project management process groups. So remember that we discussed about the project management uh, knowledge areas. This is process groups. What are the process groups? Initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and control closing. So those are called process groups. Every task, whether it's cost management, time management, quality management. So we have the initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and controlling closing. Okay, initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and controlling closing. So those are called process groups. Okay. Your project also going through like that. Every task also going through like that. Okay. Right. So then fourth topic, project integration management. So what is project integration management? Managing your project as a whole, big picture management, like starting project, overall overseeing the project, closing the project, because other knowledge areas concentrate on just time management, cost management. So project manager must have that big picture also. So that is called project integration management. Okay. Especially monitoring and controlling the project, right? Big picture management. Okay. So these are the project integration management tasks, main project tasks. Straight question from your MCQs. Developing the project charter, developing the project preliminary scope statement, project management plan. Okay. Monitor and control, managing change control, closing the project. So those are project integration management. Strategic planning, project selection, identifying potential solution project. Actually, those are little bit before the integration management also. How do you select a project? Because there can be multiple projects, you have limited budget, you need to identify the high priority projects. And if there are dependencies, you need to do certain project before the other projects. Right? So you may be solving a problem, exploiting opportunity, or it can be legal or any other directive or binding that you have no other option but to develop it. And also financial analysis. This is more important for the second paper, right? Cost benefit analysis, net present value, return on investment, payback period, right? So remember the discounting factor and those things we have discussed. Okay. Net present value, we consider the time value of all your cost and revenues. That is why we use discounting factor to take it to the present value. And then you calculate the revenue minus cost, discounted values. That is called net present value. Positive net present value is good, but higher than NPV better. Right? ROI is basically the profit, but we have the total discounted benefits and discounted costs. So therefore, profit is total discounted benefit minus total discounted cost divided by total discounted cost into 100. That is profit percentage, but taking the discounted value. Okay. Then IRR is calculating the sort of a net present value, but we don't use a discounting rate, but rather we make cost and revenue equal to equalize and calculate the rate. And that rate is called internal rate of return. Payback period is when are we going to go past the cost. So that means your revenue go past cost. Okay. So lesser the payback period, better. That means quickly we recover our cost. Okay. So this is our cumulative revenue go past cumulative benefits. That is our payback time. Right. And also importance of project charter. Project charter officially recognize the existence of your project, and preliminary scope statement. That is important. Otherwise, there will be scope creeps. Okay. Then the project management plan. So these are all part of project integration management. Okay. Right. Project management execution tools and techniques like Gantt charts and so on. Performing integrated change control. Change control is part of integration management. Okay. And the use of change control board to decide whether to go ahead with the change, and also closing the project is also part of the project integration management. Okay. Right. So that is project integration management. So then we had project, the big guys, scope, time, cost. Right? Scope, time, cost management. Right. So we'll do few past paper questions and then come back to our looking at the revision, because first questions are pretty much on these. Okay. Right. So I have opened 2000 last paper 2022, sorry, 2023. So let's do few of these questions. Okay. Okay. So we'll do, yeah, we'll do the 2022 paper. So 2023 paper. So there it says one or more correct answers. One or more correct answers. So therefore, be careful. Right. Question number one. Which of the following needs are considered in the purview of information technology projects? That means which of these are IT projects? Company implement a new system to increase the sales force productivity. It says new system, right? So if it is a new system, probably IT project. So that is why I told you sometimes this examiner is not very specific in answers. Oh, so therefore, hopefully this is IT information system. Okay. Company is developing a driverless car. So driverless car also related to IT. Now this is the issue, right? Related to IT because robotics. So therefore, maybe we can take, right? Maybe we can take because driverless car is robotics. Company is developing a town plan for new country area. That is not IT. Government project to distribute laptops to lower income family. Now this is very debatable, right? Just because you are distributing laptop, is it a IT project? I don't know if the examiner take it, but just distributing laptop won't make it IT. But I don't know. I think the examiner has taken this, but for me, it's not an IT project because just distributing goods. Television network implements system to allow viewers to vote. Yeah, if you can allow vote, it's web-based application or something. I'll go for A, B, and E. A, B, and E. Let's see what is examiner's answer. Yeah, A, B, and E. Right. So examiner has not taken this distribution of laptop. That is good because just because you distribute laptop, it doesn't mean it's IT project. Right. Second one. Which one is which one of the following is true about project attributes? Project does not need to have a unique purpose. Of course, project has a unique purpose, right? Every project is unique. Mostly. Project is a long-term permanent assignment with no specific end date. That is wrong. Project is short-term temporary things. Project drives changes and enable value creation. Correct, right? But is it directly related to project? But usually project must drive changes and value creation also, right? But I will take it, but it's debatable. Project involve uncertainty, definite, right? Because you're not also saying like that. Project is developed using progressive elaboration, obviously, right? So this is little bit debatable one, but I'll go for that one also. Then everything other than B, everything other than B, right? So examiner has not taken A. It says doesn't need, right? So that is why, right? Project need to have a unique purpose, right? But it's my mistake. Uh, the question says doesn't need, right? So therefore it's not answer. Correct. Answers are uh, B, C, D. Sorry, C, D, E. Third one. Which of the following is are an aspect of project triple constraint? So obviously cost, time, scope. That is super easy. Third one, ADE, right? ADE. Four. Which of the following needs are project management knowledge areas? Right. The knowledge areas. Communication management, cost management, HR management, risk management. Do we have something for stakeholder management? I can't remember like that. I think yes. Do we have something like that? I can't remember that. It was in third note, right? Where was it? Yeah. Where was that? It. I think it was in first term. I. No, right? There's nothing called stakeholders are there, but there's nothing called stakeholder management. Okay. Right. So therefore, will not take that. Will not take that. So then the answer is A, B, C, D. Right? A, B, C, D. Oh, examiner has taken all. Right? Examiner has taken all. I think in the new book, the new version of this reference book, examiner has. I think they have taken stakeholder management. Maybe that is why examiner has marked this. But anyway, that is unfair, right? That is unfair because if I can remember, uh, the reference book, the new version of the reference book, I think stakeholder management was there. That is unfair actually, right? That is unfair. Anyway, that is what I thought. Let's double check. I have shared this, okay, book for you in the Google Classroom. Triple constraints. Do we have that? Yeah, you can see. Stakeholder management is there in the new book. But in your note, it's not there. X7 has taken, I think, from the new book. That is, I don't know. That is an unfair thing to do. But anyway, life is not always fair. Right? Life is not always fair. Right. So the examiner has taken stakeholder management also. So if you get this kind of a question again, just take this one also because the new reference book has stakeholder management also, though your uh, note doesn't have it. Okay. And your note doesn't have it. And does your right? No, right? Your even your syllabus is not referring to yeah, project stakeholder management is there in your new syllabus. Right? Right. So that is the topic. So that is why they have taken. But I don't think they have published any note for that. Okay. Publish any note for that. And also the your project management framework doesn't have it. Do we have any note for that? I don't think. Just double check whether you have a note for that. I think by last year it was not there. Maybe this year they have added. But anyway, in your syllabus they have mentioned. So therefore, just take project stakeholder management also. Though your use the note doesn't show it in the right. So your note doesn't show it. Just take that also. Okay. You can see here they have not mentioned that because maybe this note is old note, but they have added it to the new syllabus. Okay. Right. Fifth question. Fifth question. Which of the following is an aspect related to project integration management? Change request, yes, right? Gantt chart, I think that is more for time management or schedule. Lessons learned report, usually this is not going to go for any other thing, right? If it is not going for any other thing, maybe project integration management, right? Requirement analysis is not project integration management, right? Work breakdown structure, is it project integration management? The thing is, if it is in your note, examiner take it as something like God's words. That is how examiner is behaving. Okay, let's double check because you can't use common sense for this topic much. Strategic planning, identifying potential projects, categorizing, financial analysis, like payback periods and so on. Change control, definitely they have taken it under integration management and closing the project. එහෙම බැලුවොත් නම් අනිත් ඒවා හරියන්නේ නැහැ වගේ නේද? I'll go for only A then. I'll go for only A. What is the examiner's answer? Examiner has taken C also. That is probably because this is not going to fall into anything. Like maybe lessons learned report is part of the project closing. Right? Remember, project closing is part of the integration management. So when you close the project, you can document what are the lessons learned. I think it's a fair thing, right? So because your note says project closing, so this is related to project closing. So therefore, anyway, examiner has taken A and C. 6. Which of the following is an aspects related to project scope management? Project scope management. Change request. Change requests are, according to your note, related to integration management. But anyway, change request is related to scope because change request means it's beyond the scope. Gantt chart, I will not take that. Lessons learned report, I will not take that. Of course, requirement analysis is indirectly related to scope, right? Because requirements are related to scope. But I don't know it's a direct one. WBS, WBS, work breakdown structure. I don't, but work breakdown is tasks. I don't know. I'm not very sure about that. Okay, because those are not very common sense answers, right? Either if it is in your note, it is there in your answer sheet. Okay, I'll go for A and probably I will pretty sure A, but I'll go for I'll go for only A. Okay. Oh, examiner has not taken A. That is strange, right? So change request is pretty much related to scope. By the way, examiner has taken D and E. Now this is pretty debatable. I think if you put it into even ChatGPT will give you different answers. This is that kind of a I think I tested this with ChatGPT also because uh, this look because change request I obviously expected. Anyway, let's see. Maybe examiner is correct. Right. It says partially related change request and the last two. So you can see change request. ChatGPT says partially related. Okay. But anyway, ChatGPT has also taken DNA, which is anyway good. Okay. I did not take it. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Right. Next one. Next one. This is project integration management. This is project scope management. Right. We did this seventh one. Seventh question. Which of the following is are Aspects related to project schedule management, scheduling, right? Change request, I don't think so because it's taken as sort of integration. Gantt chart is basically we schedule using the Gantt chart, right? Lesson learned report, no. Requirement analysis, no, right? It's not directly related. WBS is using Gantt chart, right? But I don't know, is it really related to the scheduling? But I will take Gantt chart only because I don't want to take risks. Yes, examiner has taken only B. Okay, these are very fussy. Okay, for example, in a way, work breakdown structure is also high because first we prepare the work breakdown structure and then prepare the Gantt chart. So maybe work breakdown structure is related to the scope and Gantt chart is related to schedule. Okay, maybe that is what examiners thinking. Okay, right. Which of the following needs are considered as strategic goals? Strategic means very high level, long term things. Okay, business oriented, long term things. Are project cost effective? Are project on time and budget? Are we carrying out the project well? Are we investing in the right areas? Are we working on suitable projects? So definitely these are short-term things. But are we investing in right areas is definitely strategic thing. Are we interested in it's like portfolio? Are we working on suitable projects? Now that is also related to this, right? But areas, this is project. Project is more tactical. Areas, investment is more strategic. So therefore, I'll go for D, but I don't know if the examine take, but definitely not this, right? These are specific to the project. Strategic means very long-term things. I don't know if the examine take E, but I'll go for D. Right, examine has taken E also. Right, examine has taken D, E also. Okay. So anyway, it's fair because whether it's suitable project or not is also a bit related to strategical thing. Okay. Right. Ninth question. Which of the following represent measuring success according to the project portfolio management? Right. Portfolio management. Measured by product quality. Portfolio means investment, right? It's again strategic thing. Measured in aggregate investment performance. So that is good. Right? Aggregate investment performance. Measured in aggregate benefit realization. Measured by timelines. Measured by ability to deliver its intended benefits to an organization. This is also somewhat okay, right? Organization benefits. Uh, Aggregate investment performance. So this is also good for me. Maybe I'll go for B and E. Right? Maybe C is also correct, but I'll go for B and E. 9. Oh. Examiner has not taken E, rather examiner has taken C. I told you C is also possible. So this is also looks like, but I think this is not long term. Maybe examiner has not taken this as long term. Okay. Right. 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 Next question. 10. Which leadership style promote hands off approach? Hands off කියන එයාගොල්ලන් control කරන්නේ නැහැ. අතෑරලා දානවා. අතෑරලා දානවා කියන්නේ නිදහස් වෙනවා. And let team determine their goals and how to achieve them. So that is called laissez-faire leadership, right? Laissez-faire leadership. So we discussed that. C. Okay, laissez-faire leadership. 11. Which of the following is are true regarding the servant leader leadership style. So servant leader means you facilitate them, you help them rather than controlling them. So this is, I think, this question is repeated almost every year. So that is basically uh, focusing on relationships and community first. So this is almost every year this question is there, right? B. They have taken D also. Yeah, leadership is secondary. So rather than you are try to behave like a leader, you try to behave like a servant. Right, correct. Okay. Right. We'll take a break. After the break, we'll continue with okay. Right. So we'll start at 7:50. Sorry, 7:55. Okay, let's continue. Right. So now let's quickly go through the other two or three UCSC notes also. Then we'll come back and do the quizzes. Okay. MCQs. Right. Integration management we discussed. Remember the closing is also important. Right. So next, project scope management. Right. So that is one of the quotas: scope, time, cost. So scope is what are we going to address, what are we not going to address, that boundary. And deliverables are what we are going to produce. Okay. Right. Scope planning, scope definition, creating remember creating WBS is considered as scope. That is why I think that was there, right? Creating WBS scope. But Gantt chart, scheduling. Right? Scope verification, scope control. Scope management plan, even the project charter is your preliminary scope. Uh, so defining your scope, creating the WBS. So you can see it's under scope management. Okay, it's under scope management. Subdivide into smaller tasks, subtasks, right? WBS. So this is Gantt chart, but that is scheduling. You can see this is scheduling, time management. This is scope management. So they have taken it as scope management. Right. So this is another question. I have seen this question. Approaches to develop WBS. You can use guidelines, analogy approach means similar projects. You can identify tasks, top-down approach from you break it into smaller tasks, and bottom up you identify the smaller task and aggregate it into bigger tasks. I think I don't know whether this paper or the other paper. This is one of the question. What are the approaches in developing WBS? Right. So then you need to validate your scope and also control your scope. That means basically when there are changes outside the scope, you need to consider it as change request, right? With change control board and so on. Right. And also in agile development, the scope is much more flexible. Right. Remember, we accept change request even at any stage. Okay. Right. So this is summary. So then the schedule management. And scheduling or time management. So you already have the work breakdown. Now you can identify the activity list, activity attributes, milestones, right? Then dependency between activities so that you can sequence those activities. What are the different type of dependencies? Mandatory dependency, discretionary, external. This is another possible question. So mandatory means due to the nature of the task, right? For example, you can't paint without building the wall discretionary. Or those are soft logic, right? So that is not hard and fast, but can be a external dependency is something related to your waiting for you need to get approval from customer and so on. It's also dependence. So then the network diagrams we discuss activity on arrow diagram, activity on node. And I think for the last 3 years they have not asked much about these things. So therefore this year there's a high chance you will get an activity on arrow, activity on uh, node diagram. Okay. Right. Another name for this is precedence diagramic method. Okay. That is activity on node. This is activity on arrow. AOA. You must be very precise with these words. AOA, activity on arrow. Okay. Another name is for activity on arrow diagram is arrow diagramic method, ADM. But this is different. This is PDM, precedence diagramming method. That means activities are represented by boxes or nodes, right? Different type of dependencies, start to start, start to finish, finish to finish, right? But we are mostly interested in finish to start. So this must be finish for the other task to start. This is what we are more interested, but any other dependency can be there. Okay. Right. Gantt charts, that is scheduling, right? This is very famous question. Almost every year they ask smart criteria. Specific, measurable, assignable, realistic time frame. So your milestones must be, milestone means important deliverable. Milestone must satisfy these 5 criterias. Very famous question. Then the critical path method, the forward passing, backward passing, finding the critical activities, critical path. We did those things, okay? Right. And also this is very famous question, right? How do you shorten the project schedule? Now critical path says you need 20 days. Now can we do it in 18 days? So these are the 3 techniques: shortening, crashing, fast tracking. What is shortening? The duration of critical activity or task by adding more resources to or change in the scope. That means if we have 2 resources taking 5 days, maybe we try to add 3 resources and do it in 4 days. But it must be a critical path activity because then only it will reduce the overall project deadline. That is called shortening. Or you cut down functionalities, reduce the scope of a critical activity related to a critical activity. Crashing activities by crashing activities by obtaining the greatest amount of schedule compression for the least incremental cost. Least incremental cost. That means we compress the schedule, but at the same time we try to not to increase the cost or minimize the increase in cost. Okay. And fast tracking is try to do these especially critical activities as much as possible parallel or overlapping. Okay. Right. So remember the third approach, we take the weighted average. Optimistic time, 4 times likely time, pessimistic time divided by 6. So why it is 6? Because here we take 4. That why we multiply it by 4? Because we want to give more weight for the most likely. At the same time, we need to consider the pessimistic and optimistic, but with lesser emphasis. That is how you do the estimates in PERT. That's another very famous question. Then the controlling of the schedule, right? If we want to make sure that we are on time. And then the cost management. Cost management. I think we did cost management last class, right? Yeah. So therefore, I'm not going to do it again. But in second paper, I have given you more details in our note, right? A lot of calculations. Second paper, they test that. Okay, second paper, but not first paper. Sometimes even first paper, right? But this note has very little, right? Tangible cost and benefits, and in what is tangible cost, what is intangible cost, what is direct cost, what is indirect cost. Sunk cost means already happened by the time we get the project, we give the project to the customer. Sunk cost must not be cost to the customer, right? Learning curve theory, right? When you have already done something, it takes lesser time. So this is another very famous question. What are the two type of reserves? Contingency reserve versus management reserve. This is reserves for the known unknowns. And this is reserve for the unknown unknowns, unpredictable unknowns. This is predictable but unknown. Whether we don't know whether it will happen or not. But there can be things we never thought of, and still that might happen. We better is add some reserve for that. Right? So it's first we do the estimating the cost estimation. So these are type of cost estimate, rough forward estimate, budgetary estimate, definitive means basically exact estimate. Actually, we can do this only after the task is done. Okay, or very close to the task. This is the very early days of estimates, like before starting the project. Rough forward magnitude. Right. These are the cost estimate techniques. Analogous or top down, use the similar projects. Bottom up, estimate for the small task and edit. Parametric modeling, like estimate for uh, parameters like how many screens, how many tables, and computerized tools are also there. So in Kokomo is a uh, parametric modeling where we use function points or source line of codes as our parameters for costing. Right? Sample cost sheet. Sometimes they ask you to prepare a cost sheet, giving because every year second paper questions are different. That is why you need to do past papers at least for last 10 years. Second paper questions. Second paper questions, right? Not MCQs. Second paper. If you can do MCQs, also good because this syllabus has not changed for last 10 years. I think yes, last 10 years, exact same syllabus for project management. Right. So then the budgeting. So budgeting is allocating your money according to your estimates, right? For the first week, second week, third week, for first month, second month, because different cost happens at different time, right? Maybe at the end of third month only you need to buy a particular server. So then that money must be budgeted to that particular month. And also monitor and control cost. And then the quality management. හරි අපි දැන් තව questions ටිකක් කරලෙමු. ටික ටික revision එකක් වෙනවා. මේකත් වෙනවා දෙකම වෙනවා. Right. Question number 12. Which of the following is a project management software? Right. So out of these, you must have done the past paper, right? මම දැන් එකකින් කතා කර කර යන්නේ නැහැ. Obviously, Microsoft project. තකින ප්‍රසිද්ධම එක්කන. Microsoft Office is not project management software. Spreadsheet can be used for bit of project management, but it is not a project management software. It's a spreadsheet software. And the other one is Jira. So those are the two famous project management software. Right? I don't know what is this, whether it's project management software or not. But Jira, it started as a bug tracking software, but now it has evolved as a project management software. This is the most widely used project management software in industry, right? Microsoft project. Earlier, it was sort of a part of the office package, I think. Now it is separated one. Okay. I'll go for B and C. Ah, this one, maybe this one is project management software. I'm not very sure. Maybe it's mentioned in your note also. Right? Just take this one also as project management software. I have not used it, but I have used these two. Right, 13. Which goals do project portfolio management and project management address? So that means first one must be related to project portfolio management. Second one must be related to project management. Remember, project portfolio management is long-term strategic. Project management is more tactical, right? Mid-term, not just day-to-day, because projects span for about at least 4 or 5 months. This is more tactical. This is more strategic. Answer is D. 14. Which project management certification is given to the Project Management Institute? It's straight from your UCSC note. Uh, Project Management Profession. PMI is the institute, Project Management Institute. The certification is Project Management Professional. It's mentioned in your note. Okay. E. Which of the following is the frames that belong to the 4 frames of organization? Straight from your note. I don't know whether it's in the note. I think it is in your note. But anyway, this is very, very famous question, right? Examiner's favorite. What are the 4 frames of organization? Okay. So the 4 frames include HR, political, structural, symbolic. Cost is project management knowledge area. So this is a very famous question. The 4 frames are HR, political, structural, symbolic. Okay. I think it is mentioned in your note. Somewhere I can't, I remember. Okay. Let's double check. Control F. Because this is a very famous question. Yeah, using 4 frames of organization. You can see. But have they mentioned what are the 4 frames? No, they have not mentioned there. Right. So definitely then it must be from your UCSC, sorry, reference book. But just remember it's a very famous question. Okay. Let's see whether we have it here. No, I think it is not in your note, but it's very favorite question of the cast examine. Okay. Just make a note of that. Okay. Just make a note of that. It's sort of a repeating question. HR, political, structural, symbolic. 16. Which of the following are characteristics of organizational culture? Right? Organizational culture. Conflict resolution, closed system focus, control, risk tolerance, unit integration. So that you need to remember. This is also repeating questions. Okay, repeating question. I think this question is same question repeated in previous year also. So just remember control, risk tolerance, unit integration. Okay. I don't know whether it's mentioned somewhere, but that is the answer. Okay. I don't know whether it's mentioned somewhere. Uh, Definitely, it must be mentioned in your UC reference book. Okay. Culture. Let's see. If it is mentioned, it must be in one of the early no things. Okay. Or maybe HR management. Right. We did not discuss HR management, right? I mean, today. Right. So let's look at the. Okay. Let's revise the other two topic also. Another two, quality management, because now we are into the last part of the paper. Then we can do the next paper very fast. Right, quality management. Remember, quality management is not triple constraint, but the fourth, one of the quadruple constraint, the fourth one, core area. Okay. So remember a lot of concern about IT project qualities, soft quality of the software because a lot of bugs. Okay, because it's an immature field, we don't know exactly, right? What is the best way to develop software? Cutting edge technologies may have a lot of issues. Okay, so remember the modern definition of quality is ISO 9000. Uh, Quality definition is fitness for the purpose. If it fit for the purpose, it is quality. Okay, or conformance to requirements. Right, again, the quality planning, quality assurance, quality control. So quality assurance means prevent issues. Quality control means detect issues. Because though we try to prevent, there can be issues. So testing is part of quality control. Quality assurance is basically planning, organize, planning, uh, planning, setting standards, right? Reviews. That is to for quality assurance. Scope of quality. Who's responsible to the quality? Ultimately, project manager. But overall, everyone's responsibility. But ultimate responsibility, there must be someone, project manager. Okay. Right. So quality assurance include benchmarking, quality audits, that is setting standards. Benchmarking means this quality management plan, quality assurance plan. Quality control is pretty much doing the testing. Right. So these are for quality control. Quality control means try to prevent issues. Right. Pareto analysis, statistical sampling, Six Sigma, quality control charts. So quality control chart is another famous question. Control charts. Right. What is Pareto analysis? Identify the vital few contributors to quality issues. Maybe maybe there are 100 bugs. Maybe 20 bugs are related to one particular issue. So if you fix that, those 20 bugs are going to be vanished. So in the future, there won't be much bugs. That is called Pareto analysis. Vital few contributors. Then 80-20 rule. Sometimes when you work on these 20%, 80% of your bugs are closed. So that release your pressure. Okay. Pareto analysis. Then statistical sampling we can use. Actually, statistical sampling is more for the manufacturing, not for the IT projects. But IT projects also sometimes we can randomly select certain things and test if we can't test 100%. Then different type of testing that you know, right? User acceptance, unit testing to user acceptance, right? So then the modern quality management concepts like may number Deming, Juran, Cosby, Ishikawa diagram or the fishbone diagram, Taguchi. Okay. Most are Japanese quality experts. හරි මොකද අහන්න පුළුවන් ඒවා නම් දීලා තියෙනවා ඒගොල්ලෝ මොනවද ප්‍රසිද්ධ කියලා. Then the ISO standard, right? So this is very important aspect, cost of quality. So cost of conformance, cost of non-conformance. Cost of conformance means in order to confirm with the quality, you need to have a cost. Like you need to have testers, you need to spend some money for time for quality planning. That is a cost. That is called cost of conformance. Cost of non-conformance means if you do not pay attention to the quality, then there can be issues later. So that also cost. Fixing bad image. So that is cost of non-conformance. Right. So then the five cost categories, another very important thing. Prevention cost, appraisal cost, internal failure cost, external failure cost. External failure cost means you get detected in production time. Very high cost. Like measurements and test equipment cost and so on. Right. So there is quality. That's quality. So then we had project resource. So resource is mainly HR, but HR plus any other physical resource. Right. Again, HR planning, acquiring the project team, developing the project team, managing the project team. Right. These are very important for exam. Motivation theories, influence and power theories, effectiveness. What is intrinsic motivation? What is extrinsic motivation? Intrinsic motivation means motivation of a person coming through his own inner self. Like he got some interest in work, challenge in work, intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation means motivation coming from outside, like getting good salary, getting some appreciation, right? Extrinsic motivation, right? Getting rewards. So some people are more sensitive to intrinsic, some people are more for extrinsic. Then Maslow's hierarchy, right? What are the psychological needs, right? So then safety, social, esteem, and self-actualization. So when someone satisfy this, now he is or she is looking for the next one, next one, next one. You go from bottom to top. So if we can identify which layer a person is, so then we need to satisfy that layer's factors. So that because that is the one that is motivate that guy. If these are already satisfied, he or she will not satisfy motivated for that. Too high things also he will not satisfy. Of course, he will satisfy a bit, but most we want to concentrate on the band. But finding the band is not very easy because these are very fussy things. Okay. Then the different type of power because everyone love to have power. Right? Different type of powers: perceived power, legitimate power, expert power, reward power, referent power. අන්තිම අවුරුද්දුනේ වැඩි මේ හරින් අහලා නැහැ. මේ පාර අහයි. Power. Okay. So what is mean by expert power? What is mean by reward power? Okay. වෙනම දැනගන්න. Expert power means because you are expert, like you are a software engineer, you are a database administrator. So you have the power of decision making, right? Likewise. Right. So this is staffing, acquiring resources, distributing them, resource loading so that we can utilize their effort evenly. Okay. Evenly without wasting their effort or our resources. We call them resource leveling. So resource leveling techniques and also Tuckman model of team development. මේක ළඟදී අහලා හරි ප්‍රසිද්ධ question එකක්. Tuckman model of team development. So what are the stages new team going through? Forming, storming, norming, performing. So the new team is formed. So then the conflict come to the surface. Storming, storming, conflict among the team members. But then things get sorted out, norming, or some people get out of the team, some people just understand the reality. So then we have the optimum performance. And of course, the team will adjourn, dismantle because it's a project. So that is why in agile development we say don't try to keep the same team for multiple projects. Why? Then they have already going through this thing and they are in the performing state. So therefore, rather than dismantle, try to reuse the same team for another project because they are already familiar how to work with. Maybe small changes, but not big changes to the team members. Right? Training. So these are psychological aspects. Right. So then the communication management, risk management, procurement management. අපි ඒ තුන පස්සේ ගමු. piece of paper එක ඉවර කරලා. Right. Which of the following is another name for waterfall system development life cycle? So waterfall is predictive life cycle. Agile is adaptive. Agile iterative is adaptive. Waterfall means the assumption is we can predict things. So the answer is E. Remember, here you have another note in your University VLE. That note is, I think, under project integration management. No. So sometimes you have multiple notes in your UCSC VLE. Read all the notes, okay? I can't remember where is that. Yeah, agile project management methods. Make sure you read this one also. Okay. So just a chapter is there in your UCSC VLE because they have asked some agile related questions. I was just wondering from where they have asked about agile development, but then I found that okay, they have uploaded agile project management methods chapter, okay, from a book. So make sure you read this and maybe highlight important things, okay? Right. So the answer is, I think this is from that note, predictive life cycle, because this is waterfall. 18. When an organization acquires goods and services, that is procurement management. From outside services, such services are referred to as what? How do you call it? When organization acquire goods and services from outside services. Globalization, no. Offshoring means giving it to another country. Outsourcing means giving it to another organization to get it done. Procurement, right? Procurement, right? Goods and services from outside service. Outside service. Is it procurement? Yes, right? But it says services, right? Goods and services from outside service. Such services are. Because it says such services, I think probably outsourcing because it's not the word for buying other things, but buying other things with the help of others. So then they are doing outsourcing. I don't know. Okay. Yes, it's very confusing because if it is buying goods, it's procurement. But this is buying goods and services with the help of outside service. If you are getting something done by outside service, that is outsourcing. Okay, outsourcing. 19. Which of the following is a agile development method? Definitely that should be from that note. Okay. And you can use common sense also because you have agile development. Dynamic system development method, yes. Kanban, yes. Pair programming. Pair programming is not an agile development method, rather a technique used in uh, extreme programming and also now in Scrum base, but I will not take that. Scrum, yes. Sprint is not a agile development method, right? Scrum based development. Sprint is just iteration, right? So therefore, we will not take that. I don't know whether examiner will take pair programming, but it's not agile development method. It's a technique used in extreme programming. I'll go for A, B, and D. Yes, A, B, and D. Remember, sprint is not a method. Scrum. So right now, the most popular agile development approach is Scrum based development. Earlier, it was XP, but these are dynamic system development methods, and so many other methods are mentioned in your note. Okay. Kanban, Lean, those are all agile approaches. 20. Which organizational structure often has personal report to two or more bosses? If it is two or more bosses, it's matrix, right? Like project manager and your engineering manager. 20D, 21. Which of the following is an output of a project scope management? Output. Activity list, project management plan, requirement traceability matrix, scope baseline. Possibly scope baseline and traceability matrix because these should be output, right? Activity list. I don't think activity list should be time management, but project management plan is not result of scope management, right? Requirement management plan. This is also possible, right? I don't know. These things don't use common sense. Just create a small note from your slides. That is the only way because examiner is very strict on if it is something in the slides, it's like God's words, right? God's words. Right? What is the answer given? Examiner has taken C, D, E. Yeah, D and E is correct. Yeah, I told you this is possible. Examiner has taken C also. Requirement management plan because by scope you define the requirements as well, right? But not the other two. Which of the following outputs is often compiled before initiating the project? Before initiating the project. That means before project is started. So remember, these are after project management. Kickoff meeting. Kickoff meeting is where you start your project. But before kickoff meeting, also project managers do certain tasks. Okay? Project charter is where your starting point actually. So this question is very fussy. It says compile before initiating the project. Actually, project charter is where you start your project. Risk registry definitely after starting the project. Stakeholder registry after starting the project, right? You prepare the stakeholder registry. But definitely business case is something before that because it's during the time period where you try to identify problems, what are the possible solutions, right? Business case is something very early days. Okay, very early days. Possibly business case and project charter because project charter is where you start your project. I don't know whether it's part of it or not. What is 22? Examiner has taken only business case, not even project charter. So basically project charter is officially identify the project, kick-off meeting, officially start the project, officially. But examiner has not taken no, both these. Okay. Examiner has taken only business case. Yeah, what business case is 23. Which of the following is approaches to develop work breakdown structure? මතක නේද? ස්ලයිඩ් වල තියුණා. ස්ලයිඩ් වල තියුණා මතකද? Analogous, bottom up, top down. Fishbone is to root cause analysis. Gantt chart is also yes, but Gantt chart is a result, right? To develop a work break because after work breakdown structure we prepare the Gantt chart, not Gantt chart and work breakdown, right? So then work breakdowns with the work breakdown structure as input, you prepare the Gantt chart. So therefore I will not take this also. This is not related to this. This is related to quality assurance in root cause analysis. I'll go for ABC. Yes. What is are represented as requirements in an agile project? Agile project. So the requirements are represented as backlog, right? Work back. Remember the project backlog, then sprint backlog, right? So these are not related to the requirements. The official word is backlog. But agile noting yeah. 25. Which project dependencies are referred to as hard logic? Remember hard logic, soft logic, and external. So hard dependencies, soft dependencies, and external dependencies. So hard means it is mandatory, right? Hard means that D. Note එක බලන්න note එක මේක තියුණා. හරි. Time schedule management වල. Where was that? මෙන්න මේ හරි තියුණා. Dependencies. Right. Mandatory, discretionary, external. Mandatory means hard. Discretionary means soft. This is hard logic. I think that's it, right? HRN, yes. So you can see you need to very strictly refer to the notes, UCSC notes, and consider it like your Bible or Dhammapada or whatever. That is God's words. If it is in a slide, don't think too much about your general knowledge, common sense. Just stick with the answers mentioned in the UCSC notes. Okay. Right. So that is 2023 paper. We'll do 2022 paper also. MCQs we'll do today, okay? Possibly I will add another class maybe on Friday also, okay? Now we have today, tomorrow, and another one Friday, then Saturday also. මොකද මේ සතිය ඉවර ආයෙ තව සතියක් නැහැ නේද? ඊළඟ සතිය exam නේ. Right. 2022. Paper 1 hours. මේක අවුරුදු දෙකක් කරනකොට තුන්වෙනි එකේ තියෙන ඒවම තමයි යා. Right. Do you have multiple answers correct? Yeah, one no more correct answers. Which of the following are part of the triple constraint? You can see අර එක paper එකේ අච්චුවට තමයි දාලා තියෙන්නේ. Cost, scope, time. Cost, scope, time. ADE. ADE. Which of the following is a project management knowledge areas? Cost, integration, risk, scope. B, C, D, E. E අරගෙන නැහැ. මම කිව්වේ ඒක දැන් පිස්සු නටනවා හිට ඕවා එක්සෑම් එකේ. E කියන්නේ වගේ නෝට් එකෙම තියෙනනේ ස්කෝප් නේ. ස්කෝප් කියන්නේ කෝ ඒරියා ගන්න. කෝ ඒරියා. I don't know why the examiner has not taken me. Maybe later those are fixed. Third, which of the following these are tools and techniques available for resource management? Resource management. Right? Fishbone diagram is for quality management. Templates කියලා අපි ගන්න නැහැ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් නේද? Responsibility assessment, responsibilities ගොඩක්කට resource වලට අදාළයි. Project organization chart is resource, right? Checklist is a general term for me. I'll go for C and D. Yes, C and D. Checklist එකක් කියන්නේ නිකම් කතන්දරයක්. Which of the following factors contribute most to IT project success? Agile process, good. Clear business objectives, good, right? Emotional maturity, that is also good. Optimization, if you can optimize, it is also good. User involvement, good. For me, all are good. Examiner has taken only BCD. I don't know why. මට නම් ඔය ඔක්කොම හොඳයි. ඉතින් clear business objective දිනකොට හොඳයි project එක. නේද? I don't know. බලමු. සමහරට ඒක specific නැද්ද දන්නේ නැහැ. ChatGPT එකෙන් උත්තර බලමු. ChatGPT නම් එයාගේ තනි උත්තරයක් answer එකක් කියලා හිතාගෙන දෙන්නේ. multiple answers possible කියලා හිතන්නේ නැහැ. හොඳ මේක හොයනවා ඔයා. දැන් කියනවා එයා ඔක්කොම හොඳයි කියලා. දැන් මොකද දැන්නේ අපි කිව්වට multiple answers මේ ඔක්කොම හොඳයි. agile process, clear business objective, emotional maturity, optimization. මම දන්නේ මේ කොහොම මේවට උත්තර දෙනවද කියලා. anyway හැම question එකක්ම මෙහෙම නෑ ඉතින්. හරි සමහර question හැබැයි මේ paper එක නට ඒව මේවා වැඩි. right. Right. So you can see all are good. But examiner has taken only last three. මේක කොහේ හරි ස්ලයිඩ් එකක එක්ක තියෙන්නේ නැති. ඒකයි ඔය. ස්ලයිඩ් එකේ තියෙන්නේ නැති මේ තුන. එතකොට එක්සැමිනර් ගන්න එහෙම තමයි. ස්ලයිඩ් එකේ තියෙන තුනයි නම් ඒ තුන විතරයි. අනිත් ඒවා යා නිකන් උත්තර ලියද්දි හරිද වැරදිද බලන්නේ නැහැ මං හිතන්නේ. මොනවා හරි දානවා. ඒවා සමහරට හරි. හරි වුණාට ගන්න නැහැ ස්ලයිඩ් එකේ නැති යනවා. Right. Fourth one. Which of the following factors contribute most? හරි අපි මේ කරන්නේ දැන්. Fifth. Which of the following leadership approaches focus on relationships and community first? On a repeat kala dina neda. Relationships and community first means servant leader. Exact question. 6. Which of the following these are attributes of a project? Projects are unique? Yes. Projects are developed using progressive elaboration? Yes. Projects have a sponsor? Yes. Project involve uncertainty? Yes. Project have no duration? No. Project has a duration. I'll go for A, B, C, D. ඔන්න D අරන්නේ. මේක note එකේම තියෙනවා project involve uncertainty කියලා. හරි. ඔයාගේ note එකේමත් තියෙනවා. ඒ වුණාට අරන්නේ. You can see more on project phase එතන අදාළ නෑ. Uncertainty මේ කෙලිම තියුණා. මේක තියෙන දේ නැහැ ඕන කෙනෙක් දන්නවනේ. You can see involve uncertainty project attributes. හැබැයි අරන්නේ. මට ඉතින් ඒවට කරන්න දෙයක් නැත හොඳේ. ඒවට කරන්න දෙයක් නැත. 7. ඒ එක්සැමිනර්ත් එක තමයි වෙර ගන්නවා. හරි සමහර මේවට ලකුණු පස්සේ දුන්නත් දන්නේ නැහැ. හරි. බොහෝ විට දෙන්නේ නැති කියලා හිතනවා. බලන්න ආයි ආන්සර් ෂීට් එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා මේ after comments කියලා. Which of the following these are not the goal of project management? Not the goal of project management. Project management is remember intermediate level thing, right? ඒක ගොඩක් අර tactical level තමයි තියෙන්නේ. External goal, internal goal, portfolio goal, strategic goal, tactical goal. So portfolio goals are not for project management. That is portfolio management. Strategic goals are also portfolio management. So basically portfolio management is portfolio strategic goal. Project management is more related to what? Tactical, because project management is intermediate, tactical task. Right? So I will not go for external and internal. හැබැයි not ඒ වහන්නේ නේද? එහෙම ගත්තොත් මට මේ ඔක්කොම ගන්න වෙනවා. Other than E. Right? Other than E. I'll go for A, B, C, D then. Yes, A, B, C, D. Correct. Right? Project management is related to tactical. Smart criteria. අපි කතා කරන්නේ. What are the 3 basic IT project portfolio categories? Project portfolio categories. ඒක නම් note එකෙන් තමයි එන්නේ නැත්තේ. මට හරියට මතක නැහැ. Maybe growth, venture, මොකද මේවා strategic දේවල්. Maybe core. මොකද cost and quality is knowledge areas. Okay. තුනකුත් අහනවා. එතකොට knowledge areas දෙක අයින් කරාම ඉතුරු වෙන ටික තමයි ගන්න වෙන්නේ. I'll go for A, C and E. Yes. මේක හැබැයි කොහේ හරි ඇති සමහරට හරි. portfolio categories කියලා. Okay. මේ හරි තියෙනවලු කියලා venture. categories තියෙනවලු කියලා. මතක යන්නේ නැහැ ලොකුවට. Maybe reference book has බොහෝ විට reference book එකෙන් ඔක අහන්න නැත්තේ නේද? බොහෝ විට reference book එකෙන් අහන්නේ. හැබැයි ඒවට මේ දෙක අයින් කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන මේ ආවිල knowledge areas. තුනක් කියලා තියෙනහඳ ඉතින් ඒ දෙක අයින් කරාම ඉතුරු තුන. Right. Consider the following technical issues associated with project of providing tablet PCs for university community and answer question 10 to 12. 10 to 12. මොනවාද problem? Is the question එක කියමු. Which of the above technological issues are associated with the organizational sphere in the three sphere model? Right, organizational sphere, not the technical and business. මතකනේ technical, business, organization. අපි ඒ තුනට දාගෙන යන්න අනිත් පැත්තට නේම තමයි මම හිතන්නේ. යා මේ business sphere එකට යා technology sphere. අපි එනවා ඒ තුන දාගෙන යන්න. ඒතකොට ප්‍රශ්න තුනක් තියෙනවා. What will the tablet project cost the university? Cost ගැන කතා කරනවා නම් ඒක මොනවාද? Business නේද? For me it's business. What will it cost students? මේව නම් හරි අමාරු හිතන්න හරි. දැන් මේක cost එක ස්ටුඩන්ට් කොච්චරක් යනවද කියන එක. Is it organizational? Is it business? Is it tech? It's definitely not technology. Business or organization. Business කියලා ගන්නත් බෑ මේක යුනිවර්සිටි එකක් ගන්න හැබැයි නේද? අනේ මන්ද. ඒතකොට business එකක් නෙමෙයි යුනිවර්සිටි එකක් කරන්නේ. Maybe organization, maybe business. Okay. මේකත් හැබැයි organization වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. What's the university? Who will develop the special applications or books for the tablet? That is more organization, right? Who will train students? It's organization, right? Not technical. What application will be required? What applications? Maybe technical, right? What will be the hardware specification? Technical, right? Abhi so technical le kar kalla bana. Because for me, technical is 5 and 6. Yeah, 5 and 6 is there. බලන්න 12 උත්තරේ සීද කියලා ඉස්සෙල්ලා. Yes. දැන් අපි අනිත් එක බලමු. Organizational sphere. For me, it is possibilities are මේ හතරෙන් හැබැයි ඔක්කොම organization යන එකක් නෑ. ඔතන මොකක් හරි business එකක් ඇති. One only. 1 2 3 4 5 6 තියෙනවනම් අයින් කරමු. 5 6 5 තියෙනවා අයින් කරනවා. එහෙම තියෙන්නේ 6 තියෙනවා මෙයාගේ. දැන් තියෙනවා 1 1 and 2 3 and 4. 1 කියන එක cost. අනේ මම හරියට ෂුවර් නෑ මේ හතරෙන් මේ දෙක නම් organization වගේ. 3 4 තියෙනවා ගමු වෙන. 3 and 4 is there නේ මෙතන. So I'll go for C because this is I don't think this has nothing to do with the business. Right? 3 4th එක වෙන ඒවා තියෙනවද නැති හන්ද මම C වලට යනවා. C වලට යනවා. මොකද ඒක නම් business වෙන්න බෑ. Okay? Who will develop? Who will train වගේ ඒවා නේ. It should be organization. So I'll go for C. 10C. Yes. ආයෙ නැති දැන් අපි කොහොමද දන්නේ උත්තර බලන්න බෑ එක්සෑම් එකේදී. ඒ නැති මේ දෙක business වෙන්නේ නැති. 1 2. හැබැයි එක්සෑම් එකේ වල උත්තර පේන්නේ නැහැ නේ හරි. Yes. එක්සෑම් එකේදී එහෙම ගෙස් මම දැන් හැබැයි ගොතමයි උත්තර ටික හරි නමුත් එක්සෑම් එකේ මාර්ක හරියන්න මේක කියලා ගහන්න බෑ හැබැයි. Yeah. Right. 13. Which of the following are parts of the four frames of organization? Political, structural, symbolic, HR. Repeat the question, right? Other than C. Sorry, not clear thin. Sorry, 13. Yes, other than C. Which of the following represents characteristic of organizational culture? On repeat වෙලා තියෙනවා මතකද? මතකයිනේ මම කටපාඩම් කරගන්න එක. Control, conflict resolution, group emphasis තිබුණාද කොහෙද නේද? මතක නැහැ මට. හරි? Open system නම් මතක නැහැ මට. කලිනුත් ඔක එහෙම අහලා තිබුණා හරි? Right. Other than B and C. Oh, other than B and C. That is control, open system focus, group emphasis. Conflict resolution අරන්නේ නැහැ නේ. Conflict resolution එක කලිනුත් කරත් නැද්ද? කල්චර් එකට ගත්තේ නැහැ නේ. ඒක බලන්න එක පොඩි නෝට් එකක් දාගෙන තියන්න ඕන අවුරුදු දෙකක්ම අහලා තියෙනවා හරි. ඔබ නෝට් එකේ නැතත් මොන නෝට් එකක් දාගන්න. According to Project Management Institute, which development life cycle among the following is the waterfall development cycle? Waterfall development cycle is predictive life cycle. When on the exam your favorite question. E. According to the Project Management Institute, which is called the agile or change-driven development life cycle, that is adaptive. Which of the following these are factors influencing the success of a virtual team? Virtual team means team members are in different part or maybe some guys working from home. Okay. Conflict avoidance, cultural differences, flat structure of commands, incentives, technology independence of the team. ඒක නම් මට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. Flat structure of command is good for virtual team. මොකද virtual team එකේ ඉන්නේ තැන් වලනේ. Flat means එහෙම ලොකුවට ලොක් එකකින් ඉඳලා පහළට එන්නේ නැහැ. ඔක්කොමලා එක වගේ level වල. Success of a virtual team. Maybe this is good technological independence. මොකද මේගොල්ලෝ virtual ඉන්නේ තැන් වල. ප්‍රශ්නයක් වුණොත් physically ඇවිල්ලා බලන්න බෑ. හැබැයි physically නැහැ කියලා ප්‍රශ්නකුත් නැහැ ඉතින්. අද remote log වෙච්ච ගමන් පේනවා. Video call එකක් ගත්තම මූණ පේනවා. I'll go for only C. C අරන් නැහැ. Flat structure of command කියන එක අරන් නැහැ. අරන් තියෙන්නේ A and D. ඒක නම් මට එච්චර ෂුවර් නෑ හොඳේ. එච්චර මට ෂුවර් නෑ ඒක කොහොමද උත්තරේ ගත්තේ කියලා. හරි. Maybe it's mentioned in your note. Which of the following is are not related to Scrum framework? Scrum framework. Scrum, the modern agile approach. Daily sprint. Yes. Product catalog. Yes. Not product catalog, right? Product backlog. Scrum master. Yes. Sprint backlog. Yes. Sprint. Yes. Not related එකේ නම මොකද්ද? B. අන්න ඒත් අරගෙන daily sprint කියන්නේ නැද්ද ඒකට අපි කියන්නේ මොකද්ද කියන්නේ daily sprint meeting එක අනේ scrum එකේ daily sprint each days of work is not daily sprint ඔබන ඔයාගේ අර note එකේ තියෙනවා නම් ඒක තමයි අර ඕපන් කරලා පෙන්නේ බලන්න agile වල නම් අපි daily sprint ගන්නවා ඔයාගේ note එකේ අර අනිත් note එකේ daily sprint තියලා නැතුව තියෙනවා මට පොඩ්ඩක් double check කරන්න හරි examiner has taken both A and B. Okay, but definitely not product catalog, it is product backlog. Which of the following techniques these are used to shorten the project schedule using critical path? මතකයි නේද? Crashing, fast tracking. ඔය දෙක නේ අපි අහුවනේ. අනිත් ඒවා නෑනේ. තව එකක් තිබුණා crashing, fast tracking. තව එකක් ඒක මෙතන නෑ. So therefore we will take only these two, B and C. Yes. The white diamond symbol on Tracking Gantt chart represents black diamond means milestone. White diamond means miss slip milestone. Take away note E. Right? Schedule management. Milestone. Remember the scope management. Diamond කියලා search කරන්න. Yeah, black diamond milestone. බලන්න white diamond තෝක තිබුණා කොහෙද? ඔය රූපේ නම් white diamond තිබුණා. කලිනුත් අහලා තියෙනවා ඒක. හරි white diamond. So these are slipped milestones. Slipped. Note එකේ නෑ හැබැයි ඔක ප්‍රසිද්ධ question එකක්. හරි white diamond means slip milestone. Black diamond means your actual milestone. So just make a note of that. So the answer must be E. E. 21. Which of the following is are true about free slack? Remember free slack, total slack. So free slack is for the task, for the next task to not to delay. Total slack is not to delay your project, not to delay your project. That is the difference. Another name for slack is what? Float. The free slack of free float, and total slack for total float. It represents the earliest possible date that the activity can start. No. It is a time when activity can be delayed from its earliest start without delay in the planned project finish date. No, that is total. Related to project finish date is not free, it's total. It means the same thing as free float. Yes, free slack or free float. Correct. It represents the latest possible date an activity can start without affecting the finish date. No, not affecting the finish date. Not affecting your next task. Okay. It is the amount of time that an activity can be delayed without delay in the earliest start date of any immediate following activity. Yes. Immediate following activity එක delay නොකර මේක delay කරන්න පුළුවන් කාලය. මේක බිඳුවයි මොනවාටද? critical activities වලට. හරි අනිත් activities වලට තමයි මේකට earliest start minus late start අතර value එකක් එන්නේ. Right. Answer must be C and E. Yes. 22. Which of the following are agile methodologies? Crystal, yes. Lean, yes. Kanban, yes. Pair programming can technique can name extreme programming, yes. Other than D. Which of the following output is are relevant to the project schedule management knowledge area? Schedule ගැන අහන්නේ දැන් schedule කරද්දි. Activity list. ඕක නම් note එක බලලා තමයි කරන්න පුළුවන් මට එකපාරට කියන්න බෑ. Estimates නම් ඕන වෙනවා schedule කරද්දි නේ. Cost estimate ඕනේ නෑනේ schedule එකට නේද? මට මේක තමයි ෂුවර් එක නේ අනිත් ඒවා නම් මතක නෑ. ඕක note එකේ ඇති අනිවාර්යෙන් Examiner has taken activity list also. මට මතක activity list තිබුණා. ඔව් activity list තිබුණා input එකක් විදියට. Okay. task list එක තමයි scope එකේ තිබුණේ. activity list එක තිබුණේ මට මතක විදියට මේකේ තමයි. ඔව්. 24. Which of the following knowledge areas would have change request as an output? රිපීට් කරපු ක්වෙස්චන් එකක් නේද? නෑනේ මේක අහලා තියුනේ නෑනේ. කොස් මැනේජ්මන්ට් නෑ නේද? අවුට්පුට් එක නෙමෙයි. කමියුනිකේෂන් මැනේජ්මන්ට් නෝ. රිස්ක් මැනේජ්මන්ට් I'm not sure about that. ෂෙඩියුල් මැනේජ්මන්ට් මොකක්වත් දෙන්නේ නෑ නේ. ස්ටේක් හෝල්ඩර් මැනේජ්මන්ට් අනේ මන් දන්නේ. ඒක නම් ෂුවර් නෑ. හරි එකත් ඔය නෝට් එකේ තියෙන්නේ නැති ආ. චේන්ජ් රික්වෙස්ට් එක අවුට්පුට් එකක් වෙන්නේ මොකටද? C and D. රිස්ක් මැනේජ්මන්ට් ෂෙඩියුල් මැනේජ්මන්ට්. මම නම් හිතන්නේ මේවා ස්ටෑන්ඩඩ් නොලෙජ් කියලා. හරි. අපි දාලා බලමු chat GPT ට මොනවා කියේද කියලා බලමු. මම නම් හිතන්නේ chat GPT වත් මේ වගේ වල උත්තර ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. multiple answers possible කියු නැත්තේ ආ දන්නේ. chat GPT හරියට කියයිද දන්නේ නැහැ. මොන්න පුදුම ගමන් කාපියක්. chat GPT කියන ඔක්කොම හොඳයි. කිසි අවුලක් නැහැ. ඔක්කොම අනිත්. ඔන්න ඕක තමයි ප්‍රශ්නේ. හරි. බලන්න ඕක නෝට් එකේ ඇති කොහේ හරි නෝට් එකේ තියෙනන් තමයි ඔය දාලා තින්නේ. නෝට් එකේ ඇති මේක CD කියලා ඒකන්ද ඕක දාලා ඇත්තේ. මොකද මේ බැලුවට බැලුවම එහෙම කියන්න බෑ ඉතින් නේ. චේන්ජ් රික්වෙස්ට් එකෙන් ඕන දෙයකට වෙනසක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඉතින් නෝට් එකේ තියෙන එක තමයි දේව වාක් විදියට ගන්න එක්සැම් එක. ඒකේ කොමන් සෙන්ස් වැඩි යූස් කරන්න එපා කියලා මේක කරද්දී. සුද්ධ වූ බයිබලයේ වගේ නෝට් ටිකම බලන්න. Which of the following diagram enables you to determine whether a given process is in or out of control? Right? Given process is in control or out of control? It is the what? The control chart. C. Right. So that is 2022. අපිට අග්ගාර 21 එකක් කරලා ඉවර කරමු. එතකොට අපිට second papers ටික විතරයි ගන්න තියෙන්නේ. මම සමහර questions skip කරන් යන්නම් දැන් ඉතින් ඒ වගේ ඒවා කරලා නම් තියෙන්නේ. One or more answers, okay? One or more correct answers. Which of the following clearly defines what is mean by laissez-faire style leadership? That means low involvement. Give a lot of freedom to decision making and so on to the team members. A leadership style that leaves the teams to determine their own goals and achieve them. Yes. Give them the freedom for that. Leadership approach that focus on achieving goals or compliance by offering team members appropriate rewards and punishment. That is transactional leadership, right? Punish and reward. සාමාන්‍ය bossලා. Leadership style that empowers others and guide changes through inspiration. So usually guides through inspiration is transformational. මේ ටික ඔක්කොම තියුණා HR management වල. හරි. වේද බලන් තියුණා මෙයා. මේක නෙමෙයිද? Basic project integration management. කොයි නෝට් එකේද හොයාගන්න. ස්කෝප් මැනේජ්මන්ට් වෙන්න බෑනේ. එහෙනම් පළවෙනි එකේ වෙන්නේ නැතිනේ. කොයි දෙකේ හොයාගන්නත් බෑ. ඒක ලීඩර්ෂිප් කරන්නේ නෑනේ. බලන්න කොයි හරි ඇති ආව තිබුණා දැන් අපිට මට දැන් ඉස්සෙල්ලා go through කරද්දිත් හම්බුණා වගේ මන්ට. රිසෝස් මැනේජ්මන්ට් වල තමයි තියෙන නම් ඔය. sometimes සමහර රිසර්ච් එකට අහුවෙන්නේ නැති වෙලාවක් තියෙනවා හරි. මොටිවේෂන් ගැන එහෙම තිබුණෙත් ඔන්න මේක තමයි තියෙන්නේ. ඒක නෑ නේ අපිට ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඕන. බලන්න එක්ක කොහේ හරි තිබුණා හොඳේ. අනිවාර්යෙන් තිබුණා. මට එක්පාරට හොයාගන්න බැහැ හදිස්සියට දැන්. maybe communication. නෑනේ මේකෙත් නෑ. risk management වල තියන විදියක් නෑනේ. procurement management වෙන්න බෑනේ. just double check it was there some one of these right සමහර search එකට අහුවෙන්නේ. So therefore I'll go for laissez-faire A. Right, A. Yes, A. Second one. Which of the following is a part of the triple constraint? ඒක දන්නවනේ. Which of the following is the goal of project portfolio management? Strategic goals, right? Strategic goals and maybe portfolio goals, right? ඒ කලින් තියෙන්නේ portfolio goals ඒ අරගත්ත නේද කලින්? We'll take C and D. ඒ පාර C අරන් නැහැ. D විතර අරන් තියෙන ස්ට්‍රැටජික් විතර මට මතක නේද කලින් පේපර් එකේ මට මතකයි පෝර්ට්ෆෝලියෝ අරන් තිබුණා. එහා ඒකයි මම මේක ගත්තේ නැත්නම් ස්ට්‍රැටජික් තමයි අතරම. right so just double check right මට මතක ඉදින්න කලින් අවුරුද්දේ මෙන්න මේ පෝර්ට්ෆෝලියෝ එකත් අරන් තිබුණා. හරි. ඒකයි මම ගත්තේ නැත්නම් in general yes portfolio management strategic project management tactical. Goal of project management tactical. පේනවනේ එක්සැම් එකේ ප්‍රසිද්ධම question එක. E 5. What would be the best way to manage several application development projects for the same function group? එක වගේ projects එකට manage කරන්න කොහොමද? Program management වලින්. E E D නේ අරන් තියෙන්නේ. ඒක නෑ වැරදි. යා portfolio management වලින් එක වගේ project මම manage කරනවා කියලා මම නම් අහලා නැහැ. Possibly answer is wrong. Let's put it into chat GPT. Examiner says portfolio management. සාමාන්‍ය portfolio management is like a business. හැබැයි මේක business කියලා හිතුවක් දන්නේ නැහැ නේද? අනේ මන්ති එක එක විදිහට බලන්න පුළුවන්. Anyway, let's put it into ChatGPT also. Because for me, it's more program management. Because this doesn't say anything about investment, business side type of things. හරි එයාගෙට ඉවරයි. වෙන එක්කෙනෙක් ගමු. Right. ChatGPT says program because usually when we manage related projects, it is program management, right? Not portfolio management. I don't know, but I can't do anything for that. Okay. Anyway, so examiner says portfolio, but it looks like more program. 6. Which of the following options accurately list frames of organizations? මතකයි නේද frames ටික ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා. 7. Which of පේනවාද frame වලින් හැම අවුරුද්දෙම question එකක් තියෙනවා. HR frame, political frame, organizational frame. Which of the following options accurately represent characteristic of organizational culture? හැමදාම අහනවා නේද? right හැමදාම අහන question එක. unit integration තියුණා නේද? open system focus තියුණා නේද? mean ends orientation තියුණා. මේක අනිවාර්ය නෝට් එකක් දාගන්න අවුරුදු 3ේම අහලා තියුණානේ. මම උත්තර වෙනස් කන්ෆ්ලික්ට් නැද්ද කියලා. උත්තර මම හිතනවා කන්ෆ්ලික්ට් නැහැ කියලා. මට මතක විදිහට මේ තුන නම් උත්තර. mean ends orientation ඒක නම් මතක නැහැ. මේක උත්තරයක්ද මට මතක නැහැ. open system and unit integration නම් කලින් අවුරුදු උත්තර තිබුණා වගේ මතකයි. බලන්න ඩබල් චෙක් කරන්න. උත්තර ප්‍රශ්න තුනම අරගෙන උත්තර ටික අරගෙන ඩබල් චෙක් කරලා ඒ ටික ලියා ගන්න. ඔන්න අවුරුදු 3ේම අහලා තියෙනවා. right 7 examiner's answer is examiners are taken mean ends orientation also. මට මතක නැහැ මේක නම් තියුණාද කියලා. හරි. මේ දෙක නම් තියුණා වගේ මතකයි කලින්. Which of the following factors are essential in deciding which development life cycle to use for a given project? Which development life cycle? Estimated budget, frequency of delivery, yes, because waterfall you can't deliver frequently, right? Only iterative agile we can deliver frequently. Stability of the requirement, yes, right? If requirements are not stable, we can't go for waterfall. Then we must go for agile. Technical competency of the team, no. Technology stack, no. Budget, no. Right? B and C. B and C. Yes, B and C. ඒවා විල මේ මොනවාද? Debatable නැති answers, හරි? Which product development life cycle waterfall? අයියෝ. Predictive. Right? 9. Which of the following statement is are true regarding virtual project teams? කල්මුත් අහලා දුන්නා නේද? දැක්කද? virtual team ගැන එයාගේ points ටික වාරන වෙනම note එකකට දාගන්න. හරි. දැන් මට මතක නැහැ කලින් එකේ නම් තිබිච්ච පොඩ්ඩක් debatable උත්තර වගේක් තිබුණේ. They increase the potential for communication problem among members. Yes, because they are not sitting next to each other, right? They represent people who work together using communication technology despite time and space boundaries. Yes, that is what virtual team. Team members of virtual team have to reside in the same country. No, they can be from different countries. Make an lazy, you can fussy. They lower the overall cost of the project. Yes, right. When you have more and more virtual project teams, the cost is less. They increase the potential for team members to network or transfer information. I'll go for A, B, and D. Yes, A, B, and D. Maybe this is just examiners added a random answer. Right, agile development මොනවාද කියලා අහනවා. What is the it's a different question. What is the leading agile development method? Leading agile development method. මේ දවස්වල තියෙන leading agile development method මොකද්ද? Scrum based development. බලන්න question එක වෙනස් කර අහන්නේ ආ. Leading agile development method is now Scrum. E. Which of the following needs are part of project integration management? Closing the project, yes. Developing the project business case, no, right? මතකනේ මේක integration management වලට කලින් කරන වැඩක්. උතන මතක තියාගන්න. project chart එක හදන එක ඔව්. integration management වල note එකෙන් තියුනේ. Developing the project management plan, yes. Maintaining budget is cost management, right? I'll go for A, C, and D. Yes, A, C, and D. Which of the following is are not methods for selecting a project? Note එකේ කෙලිම තියුණා. නේ note එකේ කෙලිම තියුණා. Okay. Balance scorecard තියුණා නේද? Yes. Balance scorecard, weight scoring method, net present value, that is cost benefit analysis. Individual needs නම් මට ෂුවර් නෑ. Categorizing කියන එක මා විකාර උත්තරයක් නෝ මට මතකයි මේක තියුණා කියලා. Okay. එහෙම වුණොත් මට ගන්න වෙන්නේ not එකට B. B. Yes, B. මේ categorizing කියන එක තිබුණා මම දන්නේ ඒක මොකක්ද තේරුම කියලා. හරි note එකේ තිබුණා. හරි මේක note එකෙන් අහලා. 14. What tool and techniques is are used for all processes associated with project integration management? Project integration management. Agreements, defect reports, no. Expert judgments. Tools and techniques. Yes, expert judgments we need to use in everywhere, right? Project integration management also, because project integration management involve a lot of financial related things and also, right, taking decisions. Project management software. Yes, right. So, of course, project management software can be used for anything. Templates නම් එහෙම කියන්නේ නැහැ. Maybe C and D. Oh, examiner has taken only C. Project management software පාවිච්චි කරන බැරිද integration management? අනේ මන් දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක නම් මට නම් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. හරි. ඇයි මේක පාවිච්චි කරන්න බැරි කියලා. Anyway, examiner has taken C. ඒ කියන්නේ යාගේ note එකේ ඇත්තේ මේක වෙනවා. 15. Which of the following needs are the process associated with project schedule management? That schedule management means time management. Budget allocation, no, right? Budget allocation is cost. Budget related things are not scheduled. Maybe defining activities, estimating activity duration, yes. Sequencing, yes. නේද? ඒව හරිනේ. Schedule කරද්දී. I'll go for CD. Yes. Which diagrams provides standard format for displaying project schedule information by listing project activities and their corresponding duration in a calendar form. Calendar form එකක් කියන්නේ Gantt chart. calendar එකේ තමයි දවස් තමයි මෙහෙම තියුනේ. එහෙම යන්නේ. Gantt chart. D. Which of the following are smart criteria? examiner අහනවා අනිවාර්යයෙන්. Consider diagram below and answer question 18 and 19. What is the shortest activity path of the above diagram? ඒකට නම් ඉතින් අරක forward pass එකේ backward pass එකේ කරන්න නේ. අපි අන්තිමට ගමුද? ඇයි ඒක අන්තිමට ගමු? 20. Which of the following reserves allow the unpredictable future situation? Unpredictable future situation means management reserves. Unknown unknowns. Right? Risk management. E. Which of the following project performance measurement techniques integrated the scope, time, and cost? Scope, time, and cost. Project performance measurement techniques. Earn value management, life cycle costing, project cost budgeting, reserve analysis, return on investment. Project performance කිව්වත් ගොඩක් අය එන්න ඕන return on investment, earn value management, remember net present value and so on. Overall කිව්වහම මම ගන්න මේ දෙක තමයි. Definitely not this, right? Definitely not budgeting, right? Costing උත්තරගෙන මදි. මේ ඔක්කොම ගන්න overall. I'll go for A&E. exam යනන් දින C නේ. Budgeting. Which of the following cost, scope, time? සමහරට budgeting කියලා ගන්න නැත්නම් කාලයට අනුව බෙදන හන්ද වෙන්නේ. මේ task වලට මේ කාලවල කියලා දානවා නේද? Maybe that is the reason. Because in budgeting we say for this task, for this month, this amount. So this task is like scope, this month is time and the cost. Yeah, I think probably that is why examiner has taken this. Because when you budgeting, you have this time, cost, scope, everything together. Yeah, I think that is fair. Right? I think that is fair. Examiner's answer is correct. Okay. If a project is 50% complete, it is scheduled performance 110 මේ indexes ගැන මම ක්ලාස් එකේ කතා කරේ නෑ එදා මම මේ indexes ගැන මේ ඊළඟ index ගැනද නෑ I will take this when we are doing second papers. Okay. මම පොඩ්ඩක් index ගැන පොඩි revision එකක් කරලා තමයි second papers කරන්නේ. second paper වල කරන්න දෙයක් නෑ එච්චර වෙන්නේ. හරි. එක question එකක් තියෙනවා මේ index වලින්. Post performance index ගැන. හරි. So maybe tomorrow class or the Friday class I will take this question. හරි අපි විසඳුන බලමු. මම මොකද ඒ වෙලෙම මේකත් ගන්නම් index ටික කරලා. But our note has all these things. Our note, not the UCSC note. Which of the following diagram do not enable you to determine whether a given process is in control or out of control? Do not enable. Control chart එකකින් උත්තරයක් වෙන්න බෑ. Burn down chart එකකින් අපිට process in control ද කියලා බලන්න පුළුවන් නේද? delays තියෙනවා කියලා. Cause and effect diagram is for quality. Root cause analysis. So then I will take this one. Control කියන වචනේ තියෙනවද මට මේව අතාරින්න බෑ. run chart උත් ඔය මොකක් හරි එක තිබුණා කොයි හරි එක. යා මට මතක නැහැ run chart එක මොකද කරේ කියලා. I think control related. Right? Control related I think. කොයි හරි run chart එකක් ගැන තිබුණා. Just have a check, right? I can't remember exactly where was it. Okay. I will go for B, but I don't know what is the examiner's answer. Is it 23? Examiner has taken everything other than C. කියන්නේ control chart විතරයි අරන් තින්නේ මේ control වලට අර ගන්නවා කියලා. කියන්නේ මම හිතුවා මේ control වගේ තියෙන හන්ද අරන් කියලා. So that means only control chart is related to control කියලා දැන් අරන් තියෙන්නේ. That is why all the others other than C is answer. මේවට common sense නම් use කරන්න එපා. note එකේ තියෙනව ගන්න. දැන් note එකේ තියෙන control chart විතරයි කියලා මට මතක. හරි. මම note එක ඇතියා. 25 CMMI level rigorously define. ඒ වචනේම තියෙනව මොකද්ද? Define. CMMI level has level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 is the basic level, 5 is the optimized level. So rigorously define means වචනේම තියෙන process එක හොඳට define කරලා තියෙන මේ වෙදී. ඒකල මැද. Okay, මැද. So answer must be C. 25. What are the needs at the bottom of the Maslow's hierarchy? යටම තියෙන physiological needs. Physiological. උඩම තියුනේ self actualization needs. Yes, C. Right. I will take this question when we do the second papers. Okay, when we do the second papers. And when we do the second papers, I will take these two questions also. මොකද එකපාරේ ඒ දෙකම පොඩි මතක් කරලා කරන්න පුළුවන් මට. හරි. අපි මේ question දෙකයි අරකයි ඊළඟ ක්ලාස් එකේ ගමු. මට පොඩ්ඩක් මතක් කරන්න අමුතු වුණොත් එහෙම. හරි. මේක නම් දැන් උනත් කරන්න පුළුවන් ටක් කරලා මෙහෙම දාගෙන ගිහිල්ලා. ඔගොල්ලෝ කරන්න නැත්නම් මම ඊළඟ දවසේ මේකත් කරන්න. හරි. Right. So we stop at this point, right? Thank you. Tomorrow we will be doing uh, enterprise application, all the MCQs, and if you have time, because second papers we have almost done, but first we will do the 3 MCQs. But I am not going to do any revision because it's a technical topic. You have the recordings. But first I will do the MCQs, and if the time is there, I will do. If there are any second paper questions we have not done, we will do those also. Okay, that is tomorrow. Right. So we'll stop at this point.